Welcome to this video on bursting reports. In this video, we're going to cover the technique and why you might want to use bursting reports. At a high level, bursting reports is a technique used in business intelligence that allows for the automatic distribution of reports to a defined group of recipients based on a predetermined criteria. Now that sounds like a mouthful, so let's just listen to one example. Think of an inventory manager. We can burst reports to distribute inventory reports to warehouse managers to ensure that inventory levels are optimal and they have no stockouts or overstocks. In this case, the inventory reports that the warehouse managers care about is only their own. They would not want to see other warehouse managers' data. And that's where bursting reports comes in so valuable. So we're going to set that up within Incorta now, and we're going to use the security context or row level security within Incorta to make this happen. A quick look on the data that we have loaded into Incorta. One table that I've loaded in is sales information for each state, what the revenue is year to date, and what the quota is for that particular state. On the second Excel sheet that I have loaded into Incorta is I have my two sellers that are managing the Eastern and Western region. In each of these rows, you can see that I'm associating the login of one of those sellers with a particular state. And as I had mentioned, I've added the admin information over here on the end, and you'll see why I've done that a little later on. So let's jump back into Incorta and show you, at least right now, as I'm starting point as an admin, I can see all of my data available here to me. And I want to make sure, again, that Joe East gets the Eastern states and Joe West gets the Western states. So the first thing to do is, first of all, ensure that the users that need to see these reports are within the platform, and you can add those through the security tab. Next, we're going to jump over into the schema and define a session variable, in this case an internal session variable. And what we're going to do here is effectively create a query that's going to return a list of states that the logged user is eligible to see. Okay, so the way this query executes, this is basically a select a list of states where, after this comma, where the login user is equal to the variable user. And the user variable is effectively the name of who's logged in at this moment. So if Joe East is logged in, it should only return states where Joe East is available. Now do note, as you can see, that I have an or condition saying, or if that admin login matches as well. So me as an admin, I would still want to make sure that I could see all of the rows within my data set. We can go ahead and test this and see what each user is going to return. So I'm going to test as different users, select Joe East, test as, and you can see I get Eastern Coast states. I'll toggle over to Joe West, test once more, and see that they get the Western states. So all we need to do now is we jump back into our schemas. We're going to go over to our quota data, put on a filter, and say, from this quotas list, we have all these states, right? For the logged in users, I have a subset of states that they should be eligible to see, and we're going to filter on that to say whatever's in the list of who's logged in will be eligible to see these records. So that filter should be applied for any user. Now again, as an admin, I do have access to see all states. So I'm going to go back to bursting, and you'll see that I have all states. But we can validate this by going and impersonating another user within our platform. And this functionality is only available for the admin. But it's a great way of testing to make sure that preemptively that your bursting is going to work down the road. So I'm going to go to Joe East, select security, and log in as Joe East. Once I'm there, I'll jump into content, into that same bursting report, and see that Joe East can only see the Eastern states. Now it is worth mentioning that within the dashboard that I showed you earlier, I have given Joe East view access, which is why Joe East can access this dashboard now, but know that the data underneath it is being pre-filtered based on who is logged in at this time. We're going to go switch back out to the admin account and show you how to set up the bursting. We'll go to the bursting tab here. We'll select share, send, and schedule a report. In this case, I'll add my two users that I want to burst to, Joe West and Joe East. Select burst report, and from there you have the familiar interface of how you want to schedule a one-time or on a recurring basis, and in what format you'd like it delivered in. Select Done, and your recipients should receive their respective reports.